Bueno.
Good evening, everyone. We start a press conference after the match for the Barca. First with assessment from the coach, establish best trick, and then questions for the coach.
English? Puedo hacerlo en español. En español puedo hacerlo.
You can do it in Spanish if you want. We have simultaneous translation. We didn't start very well. And Madrid played perfectly. Truth to be told, it's like always is the same words I always say. The second quarter, we had no other possibility. So we started playing the way we can play, and then we won on the first 20 minutes. But, as usual, of 0-4 and basketball is the new match. And again, Madrid was excellent with energy. We again were reactive. And we were not able to find a pace like on the first 20 minutes. You cannot have a lot of patience when you're -6, -8, -10 points. You need first to improve your defense, control defensive bounces, and then on the offensive to play with patience. That's something we did not do, and that's why we did not find the pace until the end of the match. So congratulations to Real Madrid, they play better and they deserve to win. Questions for the coach? Please identify yourself and the company that you represent. Thank you. To your left, coach. You say that on the third quarter, when the match restarted from 0 again, team was missing patience when they were attacking, when they were building. With a full team, would had it been better? Excuse me? With the full team, with all players, with Thomas, Victor, would have it been different? In basketball, it's important, especially in the third quarter, as I've mentioned before, to find the pace and change the pace for the match. What does that mean? To play the fast break and to attack with the transition. But if you play against a team like Real Madrid, especially in the first 5 minutes, each of 4, that's not easy to build or to believe, to have the fast break. So it's important to the way you play 5-on-5 and how do you play in the attack and the different positions. We wanted to win the match immediately, and you cannot win on the third quarter. You can create a situation. You can play the way you play, 5-on-5. So it took us too long for the first shot, and then we think that we can find a pace like on the second quarter. On the second quarter, we scored all the shots, and that's not something possible. That was a wonderful game of Malcolm, We scored some 3-pointers. We played quite well on the fast break. But if you play against a team like Real Madrid, you need to be more patient, especially on the attack 5-on-5, and we were missing that in this match. Here in the first row, Alejandro Lopez from El Español. I would like to ask if after the effort from the second quarter with which you lead the match and the team, was that a burden for the team in the second half of the match? If the big effort to overcome the first quarter was something that waited for the second half of the match and the third and fourth quarter? Yes, as I've mentioned, you cannot win the way we won the second quarter. Well, you can, but basketball is a sport where it's important how you change the pace of the match. I've mentioned that before. In Madrid, we hope it will react and they will start the third quarter on a good defense, being aggressive on the defense. And that's what we were expecting. And they got immediately 3 points from Brando, but that's just 3 points. That's not important. And we ask for a bit of patience on the attack because we need that. And that's what I believe. That's why we were not able to find the pace of the match as we wanted. Any further questions? Yes, last question over here. Better luck from Miguel. It was about a month and a half in the Super Cup match. How does the team improve? And do you think that Barca is already closer to Madrid after this match? I'm sure the team improve. That's for sure, not just because we won many matches in the EuroLeague, and we play nearly all matches, and just 2 of the EuroLeague matches were home, and we just travel, we're playing away the whole time. In all the cities in Russia and Belgrade, in Zalgiris in Lithuania, and at the same time you have to play many matches away and the Liga Endesa, and that's has a price you pay from the physical point of view, but I'm sure the team improved and we are not at our limit. It's mid-November, so we are expecting for some players that are coming to the team, and for sure we will be able to improve for us, for our team. I don't know if you can say in El Español, but for us, we work on time, patience, to work, to train, and I'm sure that in a given moment we will be ready to win matches like, for instance, tonight. The kind of matches like against Madrid tonight. Thank you, coach.
hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Skip it. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
Good evening again. We'll start with assessment from the match from Pablo Lasso and questions from the coach. Okay. Well, first, to congratulate the team for the win. It was the first half after a point exchange. Our first quarter was quite good, and score was quite wide, and the second quarter was quite bad for us, and they were quite good, so that turns them out. And the second half was more or less according to what's a normal match, with no such a big difference in the score. And then we managed to get a good advantage and a win that we knew was very complicated and very difficult. So questions for Pablo, please identify yourself and the community you represent over there in the back. Don Fernandez for Real Madrid Television. Pablo, congratulations for the win. Sometimes they say that this kind of wins is a push for everything else because of many reasons, so the way you win the opponent, and this is that what this win does. Well, yesterday on the conference before them, on the press conference before the match, they said it was a match that at Real Madrid-Barcelona, Barcelona-Real Madrid. After that, it's just a match. That's it. And a competition of 34 matches where the opponents are always very demanding, very difficult. And it's just another match. Morally, a match that could give you a push for sure. Like it could be with the Red Star, the win and Vitoria with the Gavi's last shot. The defeats that also push you because they see you, they allow you to see what you're doing wrong. So I don't believe that just because it was Real Madrid Barcelona and we won, it has to give something else. That then we have to assess from the match what we did right and what we did not as good, that we have to improve towards the future. Carlos Blas on the Madrid. I share my impression. I think from the outside that it seemed like was a final playoff match first because the balance was full. Then in the week 8 of the regular season is nearly never happens, and then the environment from the people, and then the intensity in the court. It was like another classical from the final playoff for well, I think all classical matches have that. That rivalry pushes what the match is. I'm very happy of the environment at the Palace. I think it was really important how it supported us in the good moments and the bad moments, and that plus that we have to get back to the public. I believe both teams work really hard, really intense, which I believe talks volumes of Madrid and Barcelona, knowing that these matches, and in EuroLeague, if you're not giving your 100%, it's going to be really difficult, but know that we are before a great opponent, and I'm really happy because of the answer my team had. Back to right. Hello, Lucas Rano from the Mundo. You're talking about a very strange first half. I don't know if the key was that defensive chip in the second part that happened on all the second half and playing with rotations because they had many players with faults. Well, I believe that usually when you get such an easy advantage, you think that you're going to keep on scoring, and I believe we made many defensive mistakes, which against such a team with such quality, they will punish you. So it was kind of, we were able to go back to the match plan, and the second half was more stop, less open. But I have the feeling that we dominated on the second half, and that's why we managed to win. Here to your left, Pablo. I want to talk about this. How do you manage to stop the match? There's 13-0 from the third quarter, and then you have managed to stop Barca. How do you do that? Probably making the team see what we did probably because we had 20 points up on the first quarter, and I think we did poorly, and to understand that not everything is good or not everything is bad. I think our second half was from the beginning very focused. There were a few amount of mistakes, defensive and offensive, and then we got it right for some things, but we were able to dominate the match with a big effort from everyone and having many difficulties of players with fouls, using different players in different positions. And something was kind of compulsory in such an intense match. Last 3 questions over here. Jorge Martinez for Planeta CB. You were talking about the first quarter, the second quarter, and something went through your head in a given moment because in the last Madrid-Barcelona, Real Madrid always goes away from the scores, and then Barcelona comes back. And the second question, Brandon Davis today highlighted Super Cup, and he was cancelled today. So how was the work on the days previous to the match? Well, all matches are different. It's true that we play many matches with Barcelona, and it is a different one. I believe it's a team that obviously has a lot of quality. Today, for instance, I believe bench rotation gave them a lot, allowed them to get back into the match. But it's a long squad they have, so it's something you should expect. So I was focusing more on what we were doing right or wrong. Regarding Brandon Davis, it's true that he had a very good match on the Super Cup. Today probably was less of a star in that sense, but I believe that the team was better somehow, worked better in situation. It was a player who was new with the Euroleague. We had prepared the Super Cup very little, them and us, to find players from the World Championship, and I believe the teams work with a lot better with Brandon Davis, and we decreased his record a lot as compared with the Super Cup match. Hello Pablo, congratulations. I handle Lopez from El Español. I would like for you to assess the performance at the beginning of the season of Randolph, which is one of the names, both in the Super Cup and today, maybe against the best power forward or top 3. He took a step forward, he even changed his face. Yeah, I believe Anthony was quite good today. For me, his best match on the season, Anthony's, not because of the figures, because it was one day he played awfully and he had better numbers, and it was awful the way he played. So for me, numbers are important but not decisive. And today I had a feeling that Anthony was very focused on what he needed to do defensively and offensively. And it's true that I believe that he played a great match. Last question over here. Hello Pablo, congratulations for the win. Marcos from Sudobasket. I would like to ask about if you think, as you've mentioned, except for the second quarter, I would say first and fourth quarter, last 5 minutes, were the best defense from the season. Thank you. Well, in general, our, let's say, defense in general is not bad. Not bad. I believe that probably on today's second half, it was quite solid against a team with a great quality, so it's normal that it's highlighted. Today is highlighted, but in general, I believe we are the team that gets less points in the league, and I believe that defensively we have things to improve individually and collectively, and we need to work on different situations that fall in different matches. We need to adjust the situation the teams are looking for and attacking us, which is normal, but in general, I believe that knowing that we need to improve from the defensive point of view is probably not where I'm most unhappy. I think in general the team is in a very good defensive stance, and I believe that even with improvable aspects from everyone, new players, matchups and situations, in general, our defensive aspects is not what I would complain about. I may think that there are things to improve for sure, but also offensively there's a lot of things that we need to improve. Thank you, Pablo, and thank you all.
Just gonna prop up by the lake and put my ass in a lawn chair, toes in the clay. Not a worry in a world of PBR on the way. Life is good today. Life is good today.